no-dead Death Ball composition because they don't get the Kindred to play with.
That's true.
Are we going to get Ceros' Heimerdinger? This is the game where I feel like you just start with your comfort picks. You get Envy on the Ahri. He's not going to get the LeBlanc. I was about to say that one. Get Ceros on the Heimer.
Ahri, of course, still on the table.
Oh.
Goodbye, Heimerdinger. I mean, if you want, to get some People Don't Die ultis, when I first saw Ceros play, it was actually all the way back in International Wildcard Qualifier or All-Star. I can't remember which one. But he was a Zillion guy back then.
Yep.
It was always a pick he was known for, so certainly a champion that we could also see. Hasn't played it really much at all this year, and there is the Taric ban to answer that question you had for Froskurinn.
But one of the champions that has slipped through was going to be the Karthus. You expect this to slot into the jungle. Karthus for INTZ doesn't have the same flexibility as it does for Vega Squadron, fitting into multiple roles, although it still technically can be flexed, especially into that mid lane position.
Again, lots of synergy there between the jungle and mid lane over on the Brazilian side, so see who does get the Karthus. Nocturne very quickly locked in here for steal, though. I have a different tune.
Yeah, I have a feeling that they've got some sort of creative, crazy composition cooked up right now. Obviously, you have a lot of semi-global presence already in the first two picks for Detonation Focus Me between the Abyssal Voyage as well as the Paranoia. But, I mean, I guess maybe you see the Karthus, you assume it's jungle. You're like, I can take Nocturne into that, that's fine.
Maybe. Maybe you just think here's a global ultimate. We need global ultimates. Maybe there'll be a Shen. Maybe Twisted Fate will make an appearance. Who knows? As INTZ will lock in Jayce as their next pick here.
Just the fact that like both Jarvan and Rek'Sai were available and everyone's like, no. We're going very deep.
You don't want that. You guys want the
I want that.
Ooh, I also want the Volleybet. And we're going to flash us that one here as they're looking for pick number 3. But I think Rek'Sai would certainly be more up to standard here, which would of course mean that the Karthus would have to flex. Jarvan, though, kind of keeps all the options open. We'll see what they do decide on as the seconds tick down. That's fun as well. I'll take Pyke here.
It could actually signal that that isn't going to be a Karthus jungle, however. Envy, very well known for his Jayce performance, so now that kind of emphasizes that maybe it is going to be the Karthus jungle, maybe it won't get flexed into the jungle, or excuse me, the mid lane. But Mills, by having the Pyke down there, maybe we see a repeat of that composition that Vega Squadron ran, where it was Karthus bottom with the Pyke, and you have the death from below and death from above.
It's pretty good. Double death. There's Vladimir locked in there for Detonation Focus Me. Makes sense. Big pick for Evi, also big pick for Yutapon. We haven't seen his Vladimir yet this tournament.
He's a pretty nasty Vladimir. It is fun to watch Yutapon play that champion.
Also, next bands here will be Hecarim, so DFM also saying, you know what, we will give you credit for the fact that you could flex this Karthus, so we'll ban a jungler away from Shini. There's the Varus ban away from Yutapon. And we'll see if DFM do want another jungle ban here, or if they think that just the one is good enough.
It feels like both comps are looking to gear up for these team fights. I do like the assassination and kind of like finish potential that INTZ have already put together.
Oh,
I really want that.
It keeps happening. The Ahri will get banned again. Nobody gets to play this against your champs. There's no Haima, no Ahri.
There's no fun. Just killing everything. Killing dreams.
That's pretty fun. Ooh, the Karma ban as well. Another Ceros ban primarily.
I like Karma being banned because it actually puts fun back into League of Legends for like everyone but the Karma player. Like Karma players have fun. No one else has fun when Karma's in a game.
Just wait for Lulu Zillion and then tell me that again. Instead of him landing up pick number 4. Maybe just something straightforward. Yeah, will be Ezreal there for Yutapon.
So a hyper-defensive bot lane with the Tahm Kench and the Easy between the Devour as well as your Arcane Shift. But what I actually really like with Ezreal with Nocturne is the amount of line damage that you have. You know, Nocturne flies back into that backline looking for the assassination, and if he's followed up by a True Shot Barrage, that can really make the difference on, was it worth it to dive back that deep?
Also Gragas there for INTZ, so we'll learn exactly what they want to play in their competition. Where all the champions go may remain a mystery.
It looks like it's going to be Jayce top, Karthus mid. Unless that Alistar doesn't get locked in and it's Gragas support. That would be the ultimate mind game.
Certainly some typing happening there. 5 seconds left for INTZ to make their final
pick. Oh, we
pick.
got the twist!
Irelia.
So it looks like it will be Karthus bottom. We'll see where everything settles down here for INTZ, but a very creative composition to end their run at MSI.
I like it. Might as well have some fun while you're here. Ooh, maybe the Nautilus for DFM. Haven't seen this look for them.
It'd work really nice for a player like Ceros. It kind of fits in his wheelhouse, more of like that defensive. It doesn't necessarily have the best wave clear, although, oh no. Is that traded? There we... No, that's Vedius.
He's not on the
There we
right,
go.
There we go.
You never know, like when it's a game like this, if the players are just gonna, you know, kind of smile at each other. Little wink, wink, little nudge, nudge.
Well, actually that happened. Cast your mind back. I remember there was a 90-something kill game in like 25 minutes. Actually, Brazil was playing. They were playing the Turkish team. And GBM and France had already locked. And many ADs were picked. And then Rammus made his way into the top lane somehow. And go find the VOD if you want. It's quite entertaining. But we'll see what happens here in this one. Sorry, just had to cast your minds back. Karthus Pyke borrowing a page out of the Vegas Squadron playbook here for INTZ. Yeah, some small changes, but mostly the same, I would say, for Detonation focus.
And we saw how cool the Karthus Pyke bot lane was for Vegas Squadron when they played it. Basically, if you put the wall down from Karthus to just slow everyone, Pyke just gets to rock up, and it gives him a free bone skewer, as well as the ability that everyone's low, and Pyke just starts having a field day post Karthus ult of just assassinating everyone around. So I'm very curious to see how Mills and RedBert will play this. Mills is known as a mage-oriented ADC, very deep, very versatile champion pool, so he should feel pretty confident on this Karthus.
I have to think so. Certainly Pyke is a very fun champion to watch, if nothing else, so always great to see him out on the Rift. Tahm, Kench, not so much. But we'll see if they can find anything against, as you mentioned, the very defensive bot lane. Kind of feels like two very different perspectives on how to attack the 2v2 here, as these teams will make their way out onto Summoner's Rift for their last time here, the 2000 Mid-Season Invitational. Might as well go out in style.
Sometimes League of Legends, like these types of scenarios, can create some of the best games because it just kind of feels a little bit personal, where people are just trying to flex on each other, you know, like flying over the wall at level 1.
Straight in on.
And a flash.
Flash Q. Oh, Steel did not clear the wall with that flash. He's button ignited in first blood. Who's going to get the prize? The lucky winner is no one. It's Tay.
He almost got... No, he didn't almost get away. The buckle up PastryTime. I was curious what was going to be the tone of this game. Is this just going to be a roller coaster? And it's very clear we're just going to kill each other. At least I hope it continues at this speed.
2 summoners there by RedBert, traded for 1 flash and a kill. Not a bad way to kick things off there for INTZ.
We also finally got the INTZ level 1 invade.
That's true.
Finally pulled the trigger.
They saved the best one for last.
Their composition worked a little bit better this time around for it. Creative pathing, I believe he went over the Baron wall?
Yes. Didn't hit anyone, just had the rest of the squad there. He was, I guess, a ward at that point.
It's fine.
Well, Gaeng and Yutapon dancing in the tri-wash, making sure nothing else creative happens at level 1. But it looks like laners will just move out to their positions at this point. And Shini will now start the blue buff with a bit of help there from Tay. Steel on his own. He paid the price at level 1. He doesn't get a leash. That's the tax.
You gave away first blood to my lane. You can leash your own goddamn comp.
Seems fine for now. There's Envy shooting minions here. Certainly expecting solid stuff here for him. Tay with a very aggressive dance onto that minion. Flies up the lane. Procs Conqueror. And it's just wrecking Evi's health bar with the corrupting potion. Plus the extra long sword he picked up.
And it's just going to hurt. Vladimir needs warm-up time before he can actually just sit and kind of sustain up into the lane, so we should continue to see that. Curious what that is going to transfer for Shini into the jungle, because Tay does have most control. And now we're in another situation where Envy's pushed forward, Tay is pushed forward. All eyes should be on Shini, when he's going to get access to his Predator boots and what he's going to do with his time.
Yeah, Ceros looking to pick up a wave. Oh, that's a really good hook. The turret shot eats him there as well. Riptide gonna chase, but Shini's here. That's still gonna get moved out of his jungle. Envy still happy to play up here.
Look at how deep Tay is in that jungle.
I mean, yeah, that's a lot of control. As Tay moves in, didn't have the sweeper, but just trying to see what's happening. We can see, of course, Steel here is on the Scuttle Crab on the bot side.
And this is the window that INTZ want to play with while Steel is trying to farm up to that level 6. Like we said, didn't get a leash, so it is a bit slower of pathing. Right now, it looks like vertical jungling. We'll see if he's able to actually trade the buffs, as he's now going for the red here, where Shini is going to have this big window on kind of these first 2 backs that he can try to snowball his lanes with repeat ganks.
And certainly a good way to split the map if you're INTZ. 2 aggressive lanes here in mid. Shini going for the gank. Ceros will get knocked up. Casca's down. That will force the flash.
And we'll see if it's a repeat there from Shini and Envy to try to punish Ceros with that flash. Although, hold on, Steel.
Level 3 Nocturne. Might be tough. and is going to now get seen. Puts the Q out, but level 4 now for Shini. Spellshield not going to land. The Fear Tether is there. It's going to flee him away to the shrubbery. But there's the flash forward. Spellshield up, blocks the Q, but Shini still wants it, playing so aggressively here in the early stages. Going to find the next knock-up. Red buff there for the slow Fear Tether back off cooldown. There's the Q, can't activate, and that's still getting away, but Tay now in onto Evi in the top lane, going to force out the pull, lines up the stun. Good flash from Evi to get out.
Yeah, Tay with the information, he knew exactly where everyone was. He decides to then go hyper-aggressive onto the Vladimir, forces the flash, and now again, where is Shini going to attack on the map? He's got so many options about where he can go. He can go back into this mid lane, try to punish the flashless Nautilus, and now he can look towards the top lane, try to kill the Vladimir before he becomes an unmovable sustain.
And he talked about, you know, detonation focus me. You pretty much know what you're getting every time, but how you choose to attack it, whether it's early game or more scaling, is up to you. INTZ has certainly chosen the early game path, at least for this first 5 minutes. Great arcane shift though from Yutapon, right out from under that bone skewer.
I was going to be curious about how that interaction would work and where like the buffer window was. And well done.
Ceros though hooks away to a wall as Envy has another visit by his jungler. Again, the synergy between these two, well known in their domestic league. Certainly making Ceros feel quite a lot of pain in the 1v1 so far.
Look at Steel, however. Level 4, but he is sliding in on a control ward.
Yep, Tay again. Not a whole lot of room here. Nocturne is going to spot him, but flash ready for the Irelia. Dodges out from the Q. He's going to get feared up. Good double stun, but Steel actually still blocks it. Tay, though, just walks away. Knows he doesn't need to commit.
Very nicely played. Just hold on.
Does it again.
That's also how that buffer works.
Yep, almost no mana, but just enough to arcane shift out. That will, of course, mean Yutapon has to get away from this lane. The triple Doran's ring there for the Karthus helping out. Again, the same thing we saw from Vega when they played this pick.
Also, again, back to compliments of Tay. That was a really nice lineup for the stun right there. Just kind of walks out of it, doesn't have to expend anything, and goes back to being hyper-aggressive on Evi up there.
Not going to stop with the Tiamat he's picked up either. And of course, again, we talked about the map being split early. This is the good side for INTZ to split things up, given how aggressive Tay and Envy are playing. So kind of always know that the jungle is around, and Steel still struggling in a bit of an experience deficit here, trying to get it done. Tay decides to take 2 turret shots with Q charging up there for Evi, playing almost recklessly, I would say.
But he knows he has the safety. If you look at their vision, not only did Shini grab hold of the Scuttle Crab, which of course, like you're saying, he had access to. It's his good side of the map, is what you said. But he also has a ward near the Raptor camp and knows that all of the camps are cleared on this top side. So it just gives him so much permission to just be as aggressive as he wants, knowing that no one is coming to punish him.
See back here in mid, already that Dirk finish there for Envy. Bottom lane action once again. Yutapon into the belly. And out as Steel, only level 5. Maybe covering for some potential action here in the bot lane. Does look like DFM just trying to push this wave safely more than anything else. And Yutapon with that Sheen now, his poke will be quite a bit more substantial if you can find the angles for the Mystic shots.
It always feels best on the Ezreal when you get to back and you kind of trade stacking the tier versus grabbing your immediate battle stats. And I think it actually means more now that double tier Ezreal isn't a thing. I'll hold the thought though.
Oh, stun lands in after the Q. Bone Skewer is good. Ignite down. Gaeng forced to flash away, but here comes Shini. Now level 6, gonna gank up the bottom lane. Yutapon gets away, but the target really is the Tahm Kench. Shini picks up himself up a well-deserved kill.
Great setup, however, from his bot lane, RedBert and Mills, making sure that they layered the CC, that they found him an appropriate target, and Shini is just really racing ahead of Steel at this point in the game. You can see it in the CS differential, you can see it in the level differential, as Steel needed to take that blue buff.
Stun lands here.
He needs levels.
Evi gonna get jumped on. Vanguard's edge pop. Hemo Plague there for Evi though. See if Tay fancies a re-engage. Probably not. Evi also level 7. Tay now gonna ding over, but staying firm here is the Vladimir. All stun lands, but Tay can't really chase and eat more turret hits. Vladimir starting to kind of build up resilience here in the 1v1.
It's just getting a little bit easier for him. Take another look at this one.
As you said, well set up here by RedBert and friends.
Yep. Bone Skewer into the stun. Forces the flash out early from Tahm Kench, then it makes it very easy to hit the Wall of Pain, and Shini's like, thank you.
I have to agree that Wall of Pain, I think, pretty underrated sometimes. It's even better when you get levels into it. Unfortunately, you really do have to max it last, but as you mentioned, it feels like Bone Skewer almost converts into a skill shot if you land a good Wall of Pain. Nice to see Mills with the assist there as blue buff Gonna get it donated over to Envy.
But kind of back to my Ezreal point, because he actually just picked up the tier right now. It feels like by the adjustments of making sure that there's no double tier Ezreal, that you're no longer on such a big timer to stack up your tier, because it used to be that you had to like stack one up very quickly before you really got value out of buying the second one. So before we would see some Ezreals kind of take the trade-off, do I want the tier first, do I want the Sheen first? Now it feels so much easier to make that call. I want the battle stats first. I'm always going to go for the Sheen, because stacking it as quickly as possible isn't necessarily on the same timer as it once was to get your Muro mana as well as your Archangels.
Yep, not racing as much, so it can feel a little more comfier with kind of the early itemization. But as both now, so we'll get things charging up as Mills and RedBert have one way here in this lane, and it is straight into the turret. As Steel finally level 6, also has the double buff, so hoping to see some sort of gank attempt, but another great ward by INTZ. That vision is very persistent in their jungle.
And it's because RedBert specifically is so unlocked. He's able to just duck, dive, dodge, weave, whatever it is. And ward into that jungle and constantly track where Steel is. Now, where does Steel actually attack with the Paranoia? I feel like your best case scenario is probably on Envy and to time it with the Nautilus gank, unless they want to try to pull Nautilus with the Nocturne into one of these side lanes. So I think Steel must work it with Ceros if that's 2v1 in the mid lane or unlocking this Nautilus out into one of those side lanes. That's what I expect.
Yeah. Have to agree, Nautilus certainly a very powerful champion. We've seen it time and time again, even on the INTZ side, make many picks work. However, Detonation focusing will stay, at least with the objectives right now. Gonna get that cloud for themselves, but another all-in attempt here from Tay. Heavy pops the Hemo Plaguer walks out, but just a trade of ultis there in the top lane as the Cloud Drake goes over.
And it feels like it was just a trade of farm there between INTZ and Detonation Focus Me for the Cloud Dragon. Like, it's fairly obvious when people disappear up into the river what they're doing, but that composition scales really hard, especially when the farm is on someone like Mills, who's not only that, but letting the wave get pulled in, so it's that much farther for Gaeng and Yutapon to run to. He's fine. Give it away. We're going to kill them later on, so it'll be worth.
Yep. Teams often don't spring at the chance for a Cloud Drake, so no big worries there for INTZ. Still up 1,000 gold here in this game with those 2 kills, but certainly have had some of the aggression slowed down, whether it's just some time and item timings that have made it happen, or Shini not being involved, but he's back involved here on the top side. Still looking for the ulti under front. Oh, does have to flash forward, but we'll get in there. Gonna try and get that kill. Will grab it, but almost goes down to the Karthus ulti. Probably not long for this world, but Ceros going to try and make it happen. Flashes over the wall. There's Evi over the wall as well. RedBert looking for the death from below. Finds it there in the fog. And manages to grab the assassination. Now Envy needs assistance. RedBert jumps in, looks for the stun, finds it onto Ceros again. Looking to try and find the assassination, but Evi goes into Sanguine Pool. Now Yutapon is rolling down. Shini over the top as well. It's absolute chaos here in the jungle. As into stasis goes the Gragas, but Yutapon finds the kill on Mills. He's just trying to find the snipes with the Skittles. TP in from INTZ. Throw it all on the kitchen sink into the top lane.
And they're trapped. Thankfully, the minion wave crashes in, so they're actually able to walk through the tower, but here comes RedBert.
RedBert again looking for more assassination. Q finds Gaeng.
Oh, wall of pain.
Oh, he channeled that ulti, but he sniped Envy. I thought they were going for sure. Instead, it's 1 kill over to Detonation Focus Me again.
This rumble in the jungle is still actually going. They're still fighting. RedBert wants it.
Dayram not allowed to recall. It looks like Detonation Focus Me will finally make their way back in. My goodness, though. It seemed like, okay, you know, they're starting something. Okay, there's one more person here, and all of a sudden, the whole teams were just up there fighting.
There were some ambitious calls in the middle of that. My favorite being Shini flashing over the wall into like 4 people as Gragas is like, nah, we're ending this right now.
He did describe himself as an aggressive player. Certainly been living up to that moniker in this particular game as RedBert decides to try jungling for a bit. Starts off the Rift Herald.
I mean, that said, the big beneficiary I feel like is actually Yutapon, because not only does he participate in the fight, pick up some kills, but then he uses his TP to get back into access for tower plates. So Yutapon, he's been pretty hot for this entire tournament, but I feel like having a great game so far on this Ezreal.
Certainly today as well, I think he's been even better than their first showing. So credit to him. He is a player that's been playing in the region for a long time and has had a good tournament, but let's enjoy this one more time, Froskurinn.
And it's just catching out Tay in the river. Now you can see Ceros is rotating up. He had Shini. He thought he could try to bully in Evi, but Steel goes over the wall, just barely gets it out. The Karthus ultimate, not enough to take him down. And then from here, it kind of gets a little bit of the yakety sax. Gets a little bit crazy, a little bit wild. Speaking of wild.
Yep. Rift out into the top lane. Got the charge off, so Plate gold over, but Evi decides to zone them off with a Hemo Plague. Gets some low, but does not find a kill. Pyke also here. Oh, what a good Q.
I mean, it's Nautilus.
It's true. It's rather large. I guess it's a Titan, technically. I don't know what's going on, but if you've seen the CGI video, he's huge! So I guess that makes sense. Easy one to hit. First turret also goes over to Detonation Focus Me, so the man that received pretty much all the gold from the last team fight is continuing to get gold as Yutapon now building a Trinity Force.
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of different takes on Ezreal. We talked earlier in the tournament kind of, you know, what keeps Ezreal in the meta since the adjustment to double tier, and I feel like a big part of it is his versatility and build path. I personally love more of an AP-oriented Ezreal because I think the burst damage that you can get out of the W is still really fantastic, but Yutapon going a bit more traditional here, and I feel like this is kind of more of the mid to late game auto-attacking, more like traditional team fight ADC Ezreal.
Yeah, again, set up to carry this game, so kind of going more of a heavier carry build perhaps, but there are very few wrong choices with Ezreal, it feels like.
I feel like it's just a style preference, and I love it when champions kind of fit into that pocket.
RedBert also looking to collect some CS mid as his mate Mills here. He can donate some stacks over to. Karthus, of course, kills all the backway, but thankfully he only had one stack anyway, so the cannon goes over. And looks like a little bit of map movement here as teams try and break down a few more turrets. Yutapon with the finished Trinity Force has his eye on another turret, I believe.
So it feels like at this position in the game, INTZ are going to park Mills there in the mid lane where they've already got him, and he's basically just going to be a vacuum. He's going to hoover up all of the free farm, he's going to continue to scale up in Karthus, whereas RedBert is now on Splinter Cell duty. He's going to be looking for the spy game, flying out to one of these side lanes, and then just trying to play around the Irelia or the Jayce, wherever he chooses to pick at the time, and then Mills is just going to press R, and hopefully someone will die if you're an INTZ fan.
Steal here, back onto the Drake though. It's cloud number 2 here for Detonation Focus Me. Yutapon getting poked. RedBert, this time he found his way into mid lane, gonna help out his old lane buddy. Yutapon not in range for the Bone Skewer, but did Arcane Shift regardless. There for the assist on the Cloud Drake, and that's Drake 2 over to Detonation Focus Me.
But because INTZ have information that Detonation Focus Me put a lot of members onto the bot lane, immediately you see the pings towards the top side of the map, and they're trying to leverage the fact that they have a head start there and their numbers advantage to trade objectives, but one of these objectives gives them more gold versus just the stats of the Cloud Dragon.
Well, tower, as a result, goes over to INTZ. Also, Yutapon losing the skill shot war to Mills. Never a good sign with Karthus versus Ezreal. Yutapon a little low, but looks like we'll channel that recall. It does have TP, but it's not available right now. And interestingly, Ceros here, I don't know how much tankiness he's going to build, but has brushed a Righteous Glory. So really just looking to enable his team rather than dish out a lot of damage that we have seen from the mid-Nautiluses this tournament.
I mean, it feels like even though Nautilus theoretically shouldn't do a ton of damage, that he still hits quite hard, even when he does itemize into more utility or tank, like the Righteous Glory. So close.
Control Ward was too tempting. So let INTZ recall away. Still going to take that next one left there as well, so map opening up a little, but still a lot more play here. Detonation Focus Me actually up, despite the aggression that INTZ showed early.
But it's now, can they get the fights that they want and use some of this gold lead that they do have? I still feel that their best case scenario is to use the Nocturne ult near Ceros and try to combine those ultimates there, and then try to see if you can collapse to one side with Abyssal Voyage and Tahm Kench. I feel like one of the issues with Detonation Focus Me is that they have been a little slow to rotations. I think champions like Nocturne and Tahm Kench can really shore up or band-aid some of those issues that they've shown in this tournament, because sometimes they're just late to a tower, and the tower is just given away for free.
For now, looking okay on objectives, the steal actually back towards the top lane. Gonna try and gank Envy here. Envy does have his summoners ready, so the easiest target, and don't forget that RedBert is still playing Splinter Cell, as you mentioned. Will always be around for a lot of these exchanges. Actually already going top alongside the jungler. Steal finds him, RedBert dashes over the wall.
Yeah, he scouting him out, making sure that that river is clear, and then meanwhile, you just can't break this if you just have Tahm Kench and Ezreal. Mills is just gonna continue to clean it up.
Yeah, no Anivia, but does a relatively
They're going
good
bottom.
impression of wave clear. Ceros gonna find the ulti. There's 2 in from the Abyssal Voyage as well. Yutapon wants more kills. That's a flash out of Tay. That hook barely not enough. But now through the turret has to go the Irelia, and Yutapon can blink over walls. So Tay's got a lot of running to do if he wants to try and get out of this one.
And will the INTZ squad do anything with this time?
Yeah, he's TPing out.
Oh!
Not enough! Needed to eat, couldn't quite get it. Didn't deny, but Evi gets a kill on Mills, so they try and dive in. Steel uses that ulti very effectively.
So saving Private Tay, he got out. Mills did not.
Karthus very squishy. RedBert also, the X did not connect. RedBert though gonna dash out, stun behind him. Has to burn the summoners, but does get out at least.
Unfortunately, DFM with these picks in the mid lane aren't able to translate it into anything.
Yutapon though, forcing Envy's flash, shoot shot barrage, not gonna hit. Envy did go the other way towards mid lane, but again, this Ezreal, kind of the crown jewel right now for Detonation Focus Me. He is taking no prisoners.
And Yutapon has been really solid today. I know we said it earlier, but just kind of watching his individual mechanics in these team fights, his positioning in particular, I've been really impressed with it on a multitude of champions. So we take another look at this one. Tay able to get the TP out back to safety, as well as expending the Tahm Kench flash.
To get an extra summon out there, so channels the TP. And too little too late. Also very tough for Tahm Kench to CC Irelia, because you need to hit all the stacks. The ultra slow-mo. There's mid lane, yeah. Mills has half his health, and that's more than enough for Vladimir and Nocturne to finish off.
I was like, turn the slow-mo off! Turn it off! We don't want to watch him die!
Don't want to see slow out. Mid lane, instead here for INTZ. Yutapon again, another great blink.
He's so confident on this Ezreal.
I mean, again, given the position he's in, he's got 2 items. He's transformed his Matamune into a Muramana. And now a Hex Drinker. So he can play pretty brashly in a lot of these situations.
Yeah, when I saw the MR in his back pocket, I thought that he might be going for Merc Treads maybe and try to unlock a little bit more of this confidence play instead of the CDR. I'll hold the thought though. Ceros, maybe in some trouble.
Mills also getting sniped. Yutapon finds kill number 3.
And we said that you shouldn't be able to break that there.
Werewolf's also going to really thwart the attempt on Ceros' life in bot side. Hook lands in onto Tay, who's going to dash out towards the minions, but RedBert and Shini not so lucky. Yutapon on a rampage gets kill number 4. Steel finishes off Tay, and Yutapon make it a double. That's 5 straight.
And Yutapon is actually just flexing on INTZ right now. He picks up a kill in the mid lane. He then uses the Abyssal Voyage. Everything's been torn apart down there, and DFM are just rolling over Brazil.
Globetrotting Ezreal gets kills in every single lane. And apparently mid-outer turret's not good enough here for Detonation Focus Me. It is straight to Baron.
But here comes the TP. We'll see if they even try to contest it right here with possibly Skittles as well as some poke damage from Envy. But with no smite, I think that this is kind of dead to rights.
Damage is enough by the looks of things. Shini now just respawning despite the low death time as Detonation Focus Me. Nice call. Know that they had more than enough time to take it. And that's a nice Baron, well-deserved after that last passage of play.
And so much of this breaks down right here. The fact that Mills just gets walked down. The skill shots look like they're targetable abilities because his only job is to just absorb time, to make sure that they can't crack open this mid tower. But Yutapon just outplays him on the Ezreal pick, finds the skill shot when it counts, and then joins his team with Tahm Kench on the bottom side of the map.
And again, they were setting up on Ceros, but it was too late at that point. Yutapon finishes off that double kill. Man, shooting for 0 assists this game. 5-0 and 0. Trying to secure as much as he can. Now actually has the Maw of Malmortius fully completed, so he is wrapping up items at breakneck pace here, Froskurinn. Really all that DFM need to do is try and take some turrets, and with this nice early Baron they took for themselves after that play, Evi at least going to grab the top outer turret.
And it just feels so devastating because now that Karthus ultimate isn't going to mean anything for a very long time against Yutapon. And because he is kind of a 2-item power spike on Ezreal, he doesn't sacrifice a lot of his damage output. As you're clearly seeing, like he's so far ahead to turn it directly into a Maw this early in the game is absolutely devastating.
Steel now going to continue the run of Drakes here for DFM. Still looking at mid turret there. Again, the Karthus wave clear, not too bad, although Mills actually isn't mid lane right now. I'm still trying to break those turrets. Ceros is actually working on moving the minions down to the tier 2 here in bot lane, although this time he'll be in a 1v3. Nice hook over the wall. There's Nocturne coming in and a TP and the Abyssal Voyage. Everyone's going to arrive. straight across the other side. Evi already forced low, forced to go into the Sanguine Pool, but Yutapon making kill number 6. A great stoppage there from Evi and the Devour to make sure the top laner stays alive. And now Yutapon is keeps wanting to chase his other kills, but Pyke currently invis. They'll go for the turrets instead.
Oh my god, I cannot believe that Evi actually survived that right there. Beautifully played, picture perfect on how all the defensive cooldowns were used on top of him. He basically walked into 5 people, high-fived them all, and then walked out alive.
Well, they got a turret for their results as well. They did get mid out, and they'll grab bottom tier 2. Still Baron up for a minute 15, so maybe looking for at least one more turret. Yutapon, though, starting to blink over walls into enemy territory. He's got Gaeng behind him to make sure he's safe, but so strong on this Ezreal.
I mean, it just tells you exactly the mental state that Yutapon is in right now. He's here to flex. He's here to style on some people as we take another look at that one. So the Paranoia is going to come in, the teleport on the cannon creep behind them is going to come in, and the Abyssal Voyage. And I cannot believe that Evi lives here. Basically teleports in, immediately into pool, into the stopwatch to take the Pyke ultimate, and then gobbled up to dodge the Shock Blast.
Didn't notice, but Shini also committed his ultimate there as well, so nice value on the stasis there for Evi. Detonation Focus Me surging up ahead. That gold lead is rather giant. About 8,500 right now, and again, just keep your eyes on Yutapon, who is starting to play on his opponent's half for most of this game. Might even get a blue buff for his trouble as well. Oh, finally, a burn skewer there he didn't blink out of.
I was really scared that he was going to maybe look for the assassination, but I feel like because he didn't have deep vision, Yutapon wasn't willing to just immediately go in on RedBert.
He's confident. He's not insane, Froskurinn. Still an Ezreal. Still relatively squishy if he tries to play melee carry, but again, DFM very far ahead. Baron's going to shuffle off, but not too much for them to worry about.
Something that should be noted is that... Oh, hold on.
We can note it now. I think Gaeng's okay. Oh, Nocturne's going in. I take it all back. Team Bat's going to break out here for Detonation Focus Me. Ceros going to TP into the play. Goodbye, Mills. And here comes the ulti. Steal. Will he lose his Guardian Angel? He gets devoured. He will not. And actually, Ceros is still going in there. Wants to try and find some kills on Nautilus. RedBert, though, will stay alive. Flashes out to safety. But Ceros still going, hooks to a wall, and mid-turret's also going to be forfeit once more.
I was going to say that Detonation Focus Me's composition might be a bit more reliant on Baron, but because of how far ahead they are, and because INTZ, frankly, are just taking really bad fights, everyone dies, and then Detonation Focus Me don't even need the Baron to walk up to the towers and push them over.
It feels like the wheels maybe have fallen off the wagon a little here. They were playing nice, aggressive league, kind of overstepped their bounds, gave Yutapon a few more kills, and it's been all dead FM from that point onwards. Flash is moving in. Ceros going to get bone skewered back. Mid inhibitor also falls down. Maybe make it 2. Shini going to try and make the play. Inhibitor going to fall. Vanguard's edge pop finds 2 as Ceros is locked into the cage, but he'll get out safely. Steel going to run away here and pop the spell shield. Still has a Guardian Angel that hasn't been broken. And Yutapon finally gets bone skewered in, but he arcane shifts into the waiting arms of Gaeng.
No one can stop Yutapon. This 2v2 bot lane, I'm going to say, yes, Yutapon is very impressive, but little shout out, especially to Gaeng right there on the Tahm Kench, the fact that he's 0, 1, and 7, so he has been there for it all. He has been helping his AD carry, the true unspoken hero here to make sure that Yutapon can play hyper-aggressive.
And then this happens where it seems like INTZ are going to go straight for the fight, and DFM say, you know what, we think we can take this one.
And the thing is I was just about to say, you know, with Karthus, with Jayce, with Gragas, like our wave clear combined, maybe INTZ can try to like stall this out and it would force Detonation Focus Me to look towards the Baron. But again, when you pick bad fights, when you get picked out in the open like that, and you fall over, you don't get to use that as your possible win condition. They're just kind of speeding up the rate at which they're losing ground in this game.
Yeah, it felt like they felt, okay, you know what? We want to play early against this team. They found, again, like pretty solid early game, finding some aggression. But it felt like the plan never changed for INTZ. They just kept going. And unfortunately, when you're behind and you can't make aggressive plays, you often continue to fall behind. And then that snowball just compounds, rolls straight down the mountain. And what you have is Detonation Focus Me with more than 10,000 gold ahead.
And I feel like Detonation Focus Me are just... It sounds weird, but they feel like kind of the more creative or problem-solving team when it comes to how these fights, like you'd look at it and it's just like reactive play. Like their ability to read a fight and then just immediately double down on it and kind of outplay in these smaller situations within the fight across from INTZ is the big difference maker here. Whereas INTZ, like you see their game plan, but if they don't follow through, if everything doesn't go according to plan, they just kind of fall over. They don't have that same reactive creativity that DFM are showing.
And they'll grab Baron number 2 for themselves, so game seems to be all over but the Nexus. We'll see if INTZ can hold on. It will be tough, given the gold difference. Yutapon actually finishes a Gunblade. Didn't see that one before. May have had a component or two, but again, just flush with gold in this game.
It just feels like it gives you a bit more of the burst damage then. Like, if you prioritize something like a Gunblade versus something like a Bork, the edge to Essence shift, Arcane shift forward, and then tag them with the W, and then just kind of get that explosive AP damage off of them, which seems to be how Yutapon is playing this type of Ezreal. So I like it.
I mean, certainly a game where you favor the aggressive builds. I'm a fan of the Gunblade here, even as a stopwatch. So the chances for INTZ to even kill this man once, running very short as Dragon number 4 goes over. Steel just casually soloing that one out, but bigger news here is this push that will be beginning again. RedBert eating a bit more poke. His tower will not last very long. DetonatioN Focus Me just doing it the tutorial style. Gonna try and take all these inhibs, and INTZ probably got one last fight to try and pick.
One last fight on this MSI stage. Where is it going to be? My eyes are on how this Gragas cast will hopefully split this fight, and then maybe they can burst someone down. You prefer it to be Yutapon, but with Tahm, Kench, and Stopwatch, maybe not the right target. Although, who else do you pick?
So many cannons. RedBert already down just from the poke. Yutapon, a legendary, gets another kill. Devour goes in as Shini tries to find the pick off. Redemption down. Gaeng gets a kill for once. The Yutapon finally gets himself an assist, but Evi slays Mills. They'll dive in towards the fountain. Karthus will try and pick up a few more kills, and still has that GA, by the way. And DetonatioN Focus Me make it classy to end off their tournament. Really nice win to finish it all off.
8-0-2 there for Yutapon. An absolutely legendary performance on the Ezreal. Did it in style.
DetonatioN Focus Me can be happy with how they finish off the tournament. Yutapon kind of said, you know what, maybe we haven't been aggressive enough this tournament, so I'll take matters into my own hand. Easy when you're playing Ezreal and have Tahm Kench in your pocket. Certainly honorable mention there to Gaeng for his performance, making sure Yutapon always stayed safe. But again, as soon as it started snowballing out of control, it got very swiftly out of control.
I think it was rewarding if you were a fan of Japanese League of Legends to see DetonatioN Focus Me not necessarily exit the group, but to really leave their footprint on this tournament, bringing out really creative compositions, having some really cool outplays. You know, Ceros with the Rek'Sai 1v1, Yutapon on that crazy Ezreal right there. So while they're not exiting the group, I think it feels really good for DetonatioN Focus Me after this showing.
Have to agree, and of course, no surprise here, our player of this game, it's Yutapon.
Shocker.
I know.
Yeah, absolutely disgusting. He was getting kills, multiple.
This fight, oh boy, this was a fun one.
The snipe here. Just barely tagged him with the wing, gets the kill into the mid lane, then hops into the Abyssal Voyage, gets 2 kills into the bot lane. Yutapon was everywhere.
Oh, he didn't get the ward kill at the end though, so have to mark off point for that. But as you said, the rest of it going so well. Very decisive in that moment. I think, again, you said it, DetonatioN Focus Me, great team fighters, great reactive players, but were maybe even more proactive than we've seen from them this tournament because they recognized situations and just went straight for it.
And they were super bold. And this was kind of one of the questions that I had about DetonatioN Focus Me. You know, they're constantly playing very slow. It takes them a while to really warm up. This game, they were hyper explosive, just immediately off the starting line, especially when Steel fell down in the level 1 by giving up first blood. It almost didn't matter. They made sure that they were being competent in their lanes, that they were skirmishing appropriately, and then once they had the gold, they were ready to go.
And of course, on the INTZ side, sucks to lose your last game, but has to happen to someone. As you can see, it felt even for a while the aggressive play was working out nicely in the first 10 minutes, but once that fight top happened, that was the mountain.
And for me, it really was, you know, that pickup in that mid lane. If Mills is able to survive right there, then they get to continue to stall out the game because the mid lane tower can be such a fundamental roadblock to teams kind of snowballing over a map. And even though the tower didn't fall and necessarily that push, it gave so much gold to the Ezreal that they then just walked it back into the mid lane, shoved it over, and took control of everything.
But again, for 4 players new to the international stage, still plenty for INTZ to be happy about. I think at the end of the day, we look at Shini, the star player coming in, very hot and cold, and I think that describes the overall performance here.
And I think it's just about, you know, what you take away from this tournament and back into your own regions, the experience that it gives you. I definitely think nerves were there. Shini said in the interview that the unknowns were what caught them off guard. Things like the the jet lag, things like the experience and the jitters playing on stage. And now that you have that experience, it just makes them even more valuable going forward.
Certainly does. Well, we've got one more game in Group B ready to go as the undefeated Vegas Quadrant and Mega take to the stage. Find out who picks up the win when we return.